The final score, Swansea City 2, Wrexham 1. An historic day for Wrexham, a big occasion to play in a great stadium like Swansea, and again an indication that we are firmly at the top table. But sadly, Swansea put in a very good performance and ultimately were certainly worthy of the win. Wrexham showed great grit and determination though to be in the lead and stick in the game as long as they did and keep it down to 1 goal. Another day when I will moan about the ref again, but more of that later. Yeah, Wrexham, without Rosie Hughes up front, of course, started off, the first 10 minutes was frantic and end-to-end, and both sides looked threatening. In fact, it felt very much like the game at the racecourse that ended 3-3. Swansea looking really good on the ball, working the ball around well, but Wrexham breaking well, as we do, and showing genuine threat. First chance came to Wrexham in the 2nd minute. TJ Dickens sweeping in a free kick. Defender couldn't get a proper clearance onto it, and it hit sharp and dropped kindly for Phoebe Davis, who tried to hit it on the turn from 15 yards out. Didn't quite get hold of it though, and it went round past the right-hand post. Then it was Swansea coming at Wrexham. Chivers, not for the last time, hitting a great switch over to the right-hand side where John Davis, the pacey attacking player who, you'll remember, picked up that nasty injury at Kevin earlier in the season, would be in space and able to drive at Wrexham's defence. In this case, she drove down the flank, pulled across at the far post, and Hosford probably should have done better from 6 yards out, then had the ball just wide of the post. Wrexham then back up the other end, and a bit of a frustrating one this. Long ball forward, Suckley was fouled. Referee didn't wait for the advantage because Cara Jones was through on goal, but the ref blew the whistle and pulled play back for a free kick to Wrexham on the halfway line. And then Swansea coming forwards again. Again, threat is from the right-hand side. This time John Davis had got inside, the ball was played into her, and she hit 2 ferocious shots in the goalmouth. 2 brilliant blocks, one by each centre-back, Doran and Sharp. The ball fell to Pinder back to goal in the 6-yard box. She squared it on, and Hosford from close range smashed it just over the bar. But Wrexham took the lead in the 13th minute. Good work by Suckley to bring the ball forwards, and when the ball dropped loose in the box, it looked like the danger was over. The Swansea defender Williams got to the ball. Horrible heavy touch though, and Amber Lightfoot did brilliantly to intercept and get past her one-on-one with the keeper. The defender, Williams, lunged in and made a fabulous rescuing tackle, but Lightfoot managed to keep on a bounce and get to the loose ball to hit a shot across the goalie. Good save, but Cara Jones was there to tap into an empty net and give Wrexham a lead. And there was then a period of Swansea looking on top, and again, Wrexham looking good on the breakaway. Another great switch by Chivers to John Davis caused a problem. She drove into the channel, smashed in a shot. Good parry by Morgan, and Doran did brilliantly as John Davis looked to get to the rebound and knock it in to make a tackle. But then it was Wrexham with a couple of chances in the space of a minute. Lily Jones knocking the ball forward, poorly dealt with by Powell, and the ball was fed in again by Jones. Suckley one-on-one with the keeper coming off her line. Suckley rushed it a bit. It was unlucky. I think it was the right idea with the keeper coming off so quickly, and she wasn't the biggest keeper. Suckley thought, if I can lift this over her to goal, she's right. Didn't get the proper contact on it though, and it went straight into the keeper's chest. And then within a minute, another opportunity. Suckley this time holding the ball up well, laying it off, and Lily Jones with a typical driven shot from just outside the box, which whistled just past the top right corner. But that was sort of the turning point in the match, and that after that Swansea really started to get on top. They really started to make it difficult for us to string passes together, in all honesty, because when they lost the ball, they counter-pressed very well. We were forced back further and further in our own half, and we really struggled to get those counter-attacks going. Having said that, we defended heroically the last 15 minutes. Well, remarkably, despite the fact we were pretty much camped in our final third, there were only really 2 proper chances. Jenkins on the turn inside the box hit a good shot, well held by Morgan. And then within a minute, Hosford breaking down the left, managing to beat Pritchard and standing in the cross. Pinder on the turn lashed a shot on target. Brilliant tip over by Del Morgan. So Wrexham went in ahead, but knowing there was a storm to come. And it started straight away. Hosford from 25 yards, lashing a shot just over the bar. And then Pinder turning and feeding John Davis again one-on-one. As she entered the box, she drove in a shot and put it just over the bar. The equaliser was inevitable though, but it came in peculiar circumstances, and that's the really frustrating thing for me. Swansea played well enough to deserve to score a few goals, but we defended heroically, and both goals were kind of avoidable, and the first one certainly was a bolt out of the blue. It wasn't how you'd expect it to come about, just from pressure and quality around the box. Instead, the right back Lake, who hadn't really ventured forwards all that much, went on a meandering diagonal run across the front of Wrexham's defence. Didn't really look like she had a clear picture in her head of what she wanted to achieve out of it, but then suddenly lashed in a shot which corkscrewed awkwardly back across Morgan. And as I said in the Hot Take podcast, depending on which angle you look at, one of them didn't look so good for Morgan, looked like it might have gone through her hands. One of them looked like it dipped on her quite late and just went under her hands, in which case there wasn't that much she could do about it. So Wrexham going behind to a goal which was, I think you'd have to say, brilliant, but frustratingly out of the blue. Swansea continued to knock on the door. Chivers driving in the ball into the penalty area. Terrific shot. Great save by Morgan, diving to her left. She could push it only onto the inside the post. It bounced off though, and Pinder tapped it home, went off in wild celebration, not knowing the flag was up for offside against her. Wonderful save by Morgan from a brilliant Chivers shot. In the 66th minute though, the winning goal came. Jenkins prodding it forwards. It bounced awkwardly for Sharp, and it got away from her. It looked like she was going to get there first, but it bounced away, and Hosford was able to come in on the blind side with the keeper totally exposed and slammed it past Morgan, who had absolutely no chance. And 2 minutes later, it could easily have been 3-1. Chivers turning brilliantly on the right-hand side, hooking in a great curler, which just missed the far top corner. Then it was Lake feeding it out to Hosford and continuing on into the box. Hosford's cross just too far in front, and as she stretched, she couldn't control the shot that went across the face. Wrexham made changes, worked hard, and just couldn't get there. My gripe about the ref, he was rather lenient on physical play. 4 yellows for Swansea is a fair reflection of how aggressive they were, or an underestimation perhaps. Wrexham had 2-1 right at the end when Pritchard went in late, which I think was more frustration than anything else. There was a strong case for one of those yellows being a red, mind you. Williams launched into a challenge, didn't get there, and smashed into Whitefoot's face, sent it flying. It was really dangerous, and I'm quite surprised the ref didn't show a red card for that. But Swansea were very good. They were on top of the game, and we had to spend the last hour pretty much exclusively defending. Heroic defending by Wrexham, but ultimately we needed to get more of a grip of the ball, or at least be able to strike on the break better, as we did in the game at Kevin. So disappointing to beat Wrexham. We still stay in second, but now level on points as Swansea. But well, a big game, a big occasion, and part of the growing process for the team that's already well ahead of the curve. Looking at the individual performances, Del Morgan was clearly disappointed with that first goal, but she made a string of good saves and one magnificent take of a sort of mishit cross, which was dropping inside the far post, which was really brilliant. She kept around the ball so well, could easily have gone catastrophically wrong, and she handled it with aplomb. The centre-backs, a Durham player of the match for me, absolutely magnificent, just blocked so much. I mean, won so many challenges, was absolutely terrific. And Sharp, it was a shame she made a little miscalculation on the second goal, because again, she's a wholehearted, reliable performer. She made a number of good challenges. She dealt with Pinder well, and the two centre-backs held us together, as did the full-backs. Pritchard was up against Hosford, who obviously is a high-quality player, and okay, Hosford got past her a couple of times, but Pritchard did well in general to stick with her. Some good hard tackles by her to stop Hosford as well. It's just a shame that because we were under so much pressure, she couldn't come forwards and try to use the quality that she had. It might have been interesting if he'd switched to a free and pushed her higher up the pitch, just to see whether we could ask different questions as Swansea. Who knows? On the left-hand side, Phoebe Davis playing on the wrong side again for her, but she's good at switching. Had a strong and solid game. Took a heavy knock. I mean, she and Lily Jones, who had to go off injured, both clattered into by Swansea players and were clearly hurt, as was Morgan, another challenger that was unpunished, was smashed into as she cleared the ball on their goal line. But yeah, so despite being clobbered a few times, Story Davis gave back as much as she got a yellow as well. But a solid, strong defensive performance again. In midfield, both TJ Jenkins and Lily Jones did a lot of good defensive work, but it was hard for them after the first 25 or so minutes to really get into the game in any sort of creative manner to drive the game forwards. And that, which was unfortunate for them, because they were both solid and honest in their defensive endeavour. Mary Gibbard tried also to make that difference, but ended up dropping in with the other two midfielders just to try and withstand the pressure. On the flanks, Amber Lightfoot did brilliantly for the goal, but again, it was difficult for her to get into the match after that point. And on the right-hand side, Cara Jones, lots of industry, our best player in the opening stages of the match, I thought, really running at Swansea, trying to cause issues. Impressive performance. But again, second half, she spends defending and helping Pritchard out. Up front, I thought, kudos to Ava Suckley. I mean, everybody's going to say, oh, we didn't have Rosie Hughes. But Suckley, I thought, worked really hard, worked the Swansea centre-backs, held the ball up very well, good continuity play. In the second half, she was left exposed and isolated, and it was difficult for her to do that. But I think it tells you something that Steve Dale left her on until the very end, because she was looking like she could hold the ball up and cause issues. Suckley was a big part to play in the remainder of this season. But disappointment for Wrexham's women, but not a performance to be ashamed of at all. A performance of genuine heart. But Swansea have got experience, have got calibre, and they imposed themselves on this game after the first half hour. With the final score of Swansea City 2, Wrexham 1, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.